and welcome to Money My Way UK, where we talk about saving money on a very low income. Now, if you're like myself and you don't actually earn quite a lot during the months, you can do a few things to help you save, even if it's an extra penny a day. Now, the first thing I'm going to start off with is the challenges that I like to do when it comes to saving money. The first challenge I love especially is the penny saving challenge. Now, the penny saving challenge is designed for people who are on a low income, and the goal is to save £667.95 in a year. So all it means is you're saving a penny extra a day every single day until the end of the year. Now, the most you will be saving on the penny saving challenge is actually £3.65, which, if you think about it, it's literally, I don't know, a meal deal from Tesco, or coffee from Starbucks if you like. But this is the idea with this penny savings challenge. Now, as you can see, I've done it before, but I haven't quite finished it, and I'm showing you this because I'm showing you this because I showed you that there's really no rush when it comes to saving money. It's more about putting away what you've got and seeing how far you get with that. When I did this, I managed to save £200, and that really helped, especially with the summer holidays. But I'll get into a bit more details with that in a few moments. Now, the second saving challenge I like is the 30-day saving challenge. So this works the same way as the penny saving challenge, except you're saving daily. So it's £1 on the first day, and the most you'll be saving is £30 to £31. Now this ends at £30, meaning that by the time you finish the 30-day saving challenge, you would have £465. Now, I know not a lot of people will have, that £465 to put away every month, but maybe it might be something you consider doing every other week if it helps. So perhaps doing the 1 + 3 equaling 4 and putting that away. 1 + 2 equaling 3 and putting that away, and then doing it every 2 weeks. That might be helpful for some people, but this is the general idea of the 30-day saving challenge. Now, when you're on a low income, it's quite important to realize that, one, you don't have a lot of money to play with, you don't have a lot of money to put away, so just do the best you can. Now, with that being said, if you don't fancy doing saving challenges, you might like to use a jar. Now, I use this jar. It was actually a Christmas present for me because I had been using an old tin last year where I was putting away lots of money, and it just got really boring counting. But I found that this is a very good way of sort of seeing how much I have. So every single time I put money in, sort of counts it for me, and it's just quite motivational to see how far I'm going, and it really just encourages me to continue. Now, this is what I do to save money. If you have any ideas, feel free to share what you do as well. But now I'm going to talk to you about what I actually focus on when it comes to putting away money. Now, this is quite an old folder, but I thought I'd go in with a new one to show you what you can do during the week if you're new to this, and you don't have to start it on a monthly, the first of every month. You can start it in the middle of the month. Any day that works for you is fine. But if I look back at 2022, one of the reasons I was able to save money was because of this technique. So the first thing you want to do is you want to grab a folder. If you don't have a folder, it's fine. Using a piece of paper is fine. I worked with calendars a lot because I like to have a glimpse of my month. What's going on? What do I need to pay for? And I just put down a lot of dates, a lot of bills that are coming out on certain dates. Now, as you can see, my bills are pretty spread out. So it's quite important to make sure that I've got money in my account to cover these bills. Now, I actually did this before I had a job, before I had a full-time job, and now things have changed. So I'm going to show you what I do now, which is just week by week. It's still pretty much the same method, but after I take a look at my month, I then take a look at my weeks, because there's 30 days in a month and I can't see so far ahead of what's going to happen every single month. So I tend to do week by week, and I say, right, well, what's going to happen in 7 days? Now, I'm using this as an example of something I had previously done, and it's just taking a look at, you know, what am I doing during the week, what's going to cost money. And I tend to write down even whatever I'm doing through the week, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's a school holiday. Now, this was a school holiday, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough money for the kids to have fun, had enough money to go out myself. I also plan no spend days, and it's sort of anything that is happening during the week, whether I'm expecting to get £20 from a friend, or whether I'm whether I'm paying someone to do something. I sort of put that down in the week, because generally speaking, you can sort of have a general idea, more of an idea of what's happening Monday through Sunday. Now, that's not to say that you should have the time to do it every week. Some people like to plan theirs every month, and that's absolutely fine. But this is just what works for me and my family. Now, I'm going to take you through step by step what's going on this week in my life that's going to cost money. So, we are actually in January, and it's the 11th of January. So given that I've pretty much missed a week, I'm starting on Wednesday. I'm just going to write down what's going to happen throughout the rest of the week that's going to cost me money. I can also write down what's happened to me yesterday, because I can remember what's happened yesterday and what's costed me money, and then I'm just going to add those on my notes towards the end. Now, if I take this week into consideration, this week was the week commencing the 9th of January 2023, and on Monday, well, nothing much really happened on Monday. We sort of just stayed at home. And on Tuesday morning, I had to pay for transport for my daughter to go to nursery. Now, unfortunately, my screen broke because I work from home, and because of that, I had to spend £126 to replace my screen, which meant that I spent a bit more money on transport, considering that I wasn't the person taking my daughter to nursery. I sort of had someone go and pick it up for me, and the transport costed £32. This is because I actually had to pay for them to go and take my daughter to nursery, collect the screen, and then come back. So this was a transport cost. Now, this happened in the morning, and in the evening I ended up spending £10 because it was raining. This was for a taxi for my daughter to come back from nursery, and then I also spent a further £7 for a taxi after food shopping. So already, as you can see, my biggest although this was more or less a replacement screen, my biggest spend pretty much came from my transport. Now, this is something I'm actually working to cut down on, because the buses in our area only cost around £5. So again, with the weather being bad, try not to get my daughter outside too much when it's too cold, because she gets ill quite quickly. So I try to spare that little bit of money for taxi. Now today is Wednesday. Again, nothing much has happened given that I do work from home, but my biggest expenses come from doing food shops. Oh, not to mention, I actually did a food shop yesterday. So I usually budget to do my food shops on Monday, but I sort of do it any day throughout the week. And this meant that I spent, I budgeted £100, but I actually spent £116, which was £16 over budget, but it was still fine considering that the things that I spent money on I needed anyway. Now today, the most I've paid for is, again, transport. So it was £5.40 for transport, and a further £5 later. This is because she didn't actually take the taxi this morning, but she did take the taxi this evening to come back. And also it depends on whether or not we're doing a wait and return, or if it's just, you know, one journey. So this is the most I've spent today. Tomorrow, I actually don't anticipate on spending any money because it's Thursday. None of the kids are in nursery, so I'm writing this down as a no spend day. So it pretty much depends on what's happening in my life, in my week. No one's in nursery. I've just stocked up on food yesterday, so there's no need on doing any food shops, no need on buying any snacks. So tomorrow is a no spend day. Now on Friday, I'm actually going to budget £10 for transport. Now, with that being said, because the bus does cost £5.40 for the whole day, I'm going to bear that in mind, and I might be able to save £5 from this. Who knows? So this is what's going on Friday. And on Saturday, I'm going into the city. So I'm planning on spending £50 in the city. And this could be on anything, whether it's something that the kids need. But at the moment, I haven't planned anything. This is just sort of a general idea of what I'll be doing. Sundays, we like to go to church. Some weeks we rest at home, but after church we go out for coffee or lunch. Now, I can be quite cheeky and decide not to spend money on Saturday and then use that money on Sunday. So for this though, I am still going to put down £20 for coffee. But then again, this is not essential. It just depends on how we feel. Now, the notes that I'm going to put down this week is that, well, first things first, the biggest unexpected income loss was from replacing the screen. Now, fortunately, I had funds before where I, you know, kept money aside for when things go wrong. So I just dipped into that. So replacement of screen. But this is a general idea of what's happened or what's going to happen in my week. Now, again, if I do plan on something, if something else does happen, I will sort of just scribble that down. I tend not to put this in the folder until I'm done with my week, just so that I have an idea of what's happening.